Imagine a remake of Inglourious Bastards, but it's a little bit slower and a lot more incoherent. That's this movie. Welcome back to the channel, guys, and happy New Year's Eve. Today, our movie in the middle is Amsterdam. Amsterdam is the story of three friends who meet during World War I and have to clear their names years later when they are accused of a murder they witnessed happen in front of them. It stars Christian Bale, Margot Robbie, John David Washington, Taylor Swift, Anya Taylor-Joy, Rami Malek, Chris Rock, Zoe Saldana, Michael Shannon, Mike Myers, Timothy Olyphant, and Robert De Niro. Yes, it is one of those movies. Okay, so I thought I was done doing movie reviews for this year because it is New Year's Eve. But I did see this because I was watching a bunch of them to talk about later today for my live stream, which I'll talk about in a second. And I just had a lot of thoughts on this, so I figured I'd squeeze one last small one in, but it's going to be really quick, just hitting the main points. Let's go. So most of the highs really are just the visuals. The cinematography, which I did not realize was my boy, Emmanuel Lubezki. He did a really great job once again. There's a lot of really cool like Dutch angles and like really weird like zoom-ins and close-ups and things like that in this movie that make it a little bit quirkier. Just the look in general, it's like got this like nice golden warm feel that it brings to this cool like historical mystery. And the fact that it is a period piece, all the costumes, the hair especially, whoever did hair on this one had a lot of fun with it because everybody's hair is just doing a weird thing. It's crazy. It's fun. But all the design of everything, the production design, the costume design, everything, visually just served the tone of this movie, which seemed like it was going to be really cool. Some of the acting was good. It doesn't sound like a great hype. Some of the acting was good, and what I mean by that is like all the actors did a good job for what they were given some of the time. And we'll get to that in a moment. But for what was there that was good, there were a pretty good amount of moments that were like good drama or, you know, really funny jokes, things like that. But, you know, I thought for what they were given, the actors did a good job. And especially the main three characters, I did like the idea that they were these really good friends as adults. Like, that was fun. I didn't quite believe that they weren't just, like, written to be that way, you know, that they were just that way. But I liked the concept, and I really liked the idea in general. I think I couldn't really quite understand exactly what was happening for most of it. But I did like the concept that they came up with, even though it seemed a little bit basic here and there. I liked the idea. So as you can clearly tell, and the reason that I'm doing this review is that there are a fair amount of lows, and I just wanted to talk about them. Really, it's just one big low, but woof, this movie is so boring and slow. The trailer made it look like it was going to be quirky and fun, this really zany mystery with these quirky characters, but no. No, I don't understand why this movie that has such a cool premise, these interesting, weird-looking characters, why it's just so god-awfully slow. And firstly, I'm talking about the scenes. Like, the movie in general, but each scene, weirdly, like, a lot of them are very slow, very reflective. Even, like, the way the dialogue is presented, it's weird. And not only that, but a lot of times they hold too long. I mean, like, each scene where it feels like it should end, like its purpose is done, they just kind of hang out longer and just kind of keep talking like they're filling space. It's weird. You know, Hitchcock says that, or said that movies are basically life with the dull bits cut out, and it's like they kept those in. And not just the scenes, but the acting. Like I said, some of it was good, but then some of it was like, man, it's like they gave Xanax to every single actor in this movie and then was like, go act. Like, they were weird. It was like they were off. They were kind of out of it for some of it. Some of the line reading felt like they were reading directly from a script. It was weird. I don't know what was going on, but I did not believe half the lines that came out of some of these actors' mouths, and the screenplay in general was just not great. I mean, there were even sometimes the actors just seemed like they were staring off into space, particularly John David Washington, which, that's now 2 movies. Like, I've seen him in 4 movies, and half were good, and the other half, Tenet, were like, I don't know, he just seemed boring. You know, I know he's a good actor, at least a decent actor, if nothing else, but I don't know, it's just he keeps picking these roles where he's just kind of a boring person. Really, it just feels like stuff just kind of keeps happening. You know, like, the scenes not only are just, like, a little bit long and slow, but weird things just happen that have no bearing on anything. Even, like, lines of dialogue that, there was one point, my brother was like, we should just turn this off. I'll give it 5 more minutes, and we ended up finishing it, but it was a kind of a chore because some of these lines were like, what are you talking about? And just at a certain point, like halfway, even like a third of the way through the movie, you're just kind of like, what? Funny enough, there were some lines in the movie that I think describe the movie perfectly well, and I would like to read some of them to you. What is going on? I have no idea what the hell is going on. Very bad. And my personal favorite. How is that possibly significant or interesting to anybody or anything? That was kind of a funny line. So overall, yeah, I liked the look of the movie. I thought it was an interesting idea, but the execution was just something else. It just looked like it was going to be fun, and then it really wasn't. It just goes to show you that, a big cast doesn't always lead to success. Sometimes just because you have a lot of stars doesn't mean it's automatically going to be good. They can do everything they can, but if the script's not great, there's really nothing that you can do, and especially with the directing. It kind of reminded me of Nightmare Alley, actually, which is one of the first ones I reviewed at the beginning of the year. So I'm kind of closing it out with, bookending it with these sort of similar films that just seemed like they were going to be like this cool mystery, maybe not thriller, but historical mystery and period piece, and they were going to look interesting. And they just turned out to be kind of mid. I'm going to give Amsterdam a 1.5 out of 4. And just like Nightmare Alley, I am going to also give it the Fish Tank Award. So yeah, this was a quicker one, but I just wanted to get my thoughts out for that one because there were a couple towards the end of the year that I still wanted to see and review and talk about. I'll probably be doing some of those in January, but I'll talk about that at my live stream, which will be tonight. So please check that out. I'm going to be going on probably around 7. And I will be just going for a few hours talking about a bunch of the other movies I didn't get to review this year, but I did see. I'm talking about some big updates for the channel for next year. And yeah, so stay tuned. I will have stuff on Instagram. I'm pretty sure that's the time I'm going to start, but I will update you guys and make sure that you guys know when I'm going to be starting the live stream, but it will be Friday night, which is tonight. I don't know what day it is. And as always, keep your hopes high, your stress low, and movies right in the middle. I'll see you guys later.